Why can't brains be transplanted? Have you ever wondered? What makes brain transplants difficult? Will brain transplants ever be possible? Are these kinds of transplants ethical? Modern medicine may seem like it has everything figured out. After all, it's come a long way since plague doctors dressed like birds. Today, we have vaccines, penicillin, and many other ways to keep people healthy. However, there are still plenty of conditions medicine hasn't cured. Still, healthcare is improving all the time. Will doctors one day cure the common cold? Will they find a way to stop cancer or end diabetes? With experts working around the clock to improve medicine, anything is possible. Who knows? Maybe one day even brain transplants will be possible. After all, doctors are able to transplant some organs today. It can be risky, but it often saves lives. Do you know anyone who has been given a new heart, kidney, or lung? If so, they are likely very thankful to the organ donor who saved their life. For patients with leukemia, bone marrow transplants make a big difference. Some people have even received new faces. Humans have been getting new organs through surgery since 1954. So why aren't brain transplants possible yet? All transplant surgeries are difficult, but moving a brain or a human head to a new body would be an even more complex process. That's because the brain is part of the nervous system. Doctors would need to connect the brain to a new spinal cord. This involves attachment to the spine's many nerve fibers. There are many other complications when it comes to brain transplants. For example, it's difficult to predict the immune response to such a surgery. The immune system of the body receiving the brain could attack the new organ. This is always a risk with other organ transplants as well. However, doctors have more knowledge about how to stop a negative immune response to these organs than to the brain. To be nitpicky, a brain transplant is impossible because you aren't transplanting the brain, you are transplanting the body. The brain receives a new body, not the other way around, because most of what makes you, you, is up there between your ears. Right, that's the nitpicky part, but all that does is change it from brain transplant to body transplant, which sound equally amazing. Wouldn't it be nice to discard all those old bones for a new, younger body? In theory, this is probably possible. Your brain could conceivably function in another body. The dimensions are more or less the same. Arms and legs are in the same place. The heart works the same, so do lungs, etc. All of our bodies work with the same mechanisms. Although there would be a significant adjustment period, especially for adult brains that aren't that plastic. They might need some help getting started. Think about something like vision or hearing. Your brain is mapped to your eyes and ears. Your eyes are different than mine, not in basic function, but in position. My eyes might be closer together or further apart, something the brain has learned to deal with. Same for ears. My ear, the outer part we can see actually, is not the same as yours. The way sound is deformed by it is different, something the brain had to learn. These are details the brain would need to figure out in a new body. By the way, do you have attached lobes or free lobes? In practice though, that's a different story. Let's take a heart transplant first. Not an easy operation in any way, but let's compare that to taking out a hard drive or a graphics card and putting it into another computer. For the record, I really dislike the computer analogy, but it's only meant to get the point across. It's a rather large and solid organ. Much like a hard drive, it has a specific purpose, place, and connection points. Now let's try the brain. That would be more like trying to transplant the mess below from one building to another. Seems like a daunting task, but not impossible, right? But I also have some extra rules. Rule 1. None of the cables that are connected within the machine are allowed to move or be disconnected. Rule 2. You need to cut the cables connecting the system to the rest of the building. There is no unplugging. The cables then need to be reconnected to the donor building. Keep in mind that there is no color coding and no way to know what is connected to what. Rule 3. You need to disconnect the system from the power without the system actually losing power. There's no internal power, and if it dies, there's no restarting it. So under no circumstances can the system lose power completely. Seems less doable now, doesn't it? Our brains are incredibly fragile. The procedure will be your end before they even take it out. the brain cannot be damaged at all, which is tricky with such small structures that make up who we are. Then we need to disconnect it from the body, which isn't the biggest problem, just cut the wires. But this has to be done in a way that doesn't cause any trauma to the rest of the brain. A disconnected brain then needs to be kept at least minimally active and maintained. If you start cutting wires, the brain will shut down and die before you finish the last cut. Also, once taken out, there's nothing maintaining the fragile balances within the cells, which will start decaying almost immediately. Unlike a heart or a lung, a brain cannot be restarted. We simply aren't there yet technologically. When placing it into a new body, we need to roughly attach the right wires. Our bodies are similar functionally, but our wires don't match. You'll need to connect the toe-moving wires and the toe-feeling wires correctly. Crossing them would mean a very weird kind of handicap that the brain cannot fix. For a successful brain transplant or a full-body transplant, we first need to develop good mapping tools, technology to reverse the damage done by the surgery, and a way to maintain and restart a brain. Those technologies, although not impossible, are very far in the future. Take care of your body. You won't be getting a new one anytime soon, at least not in one go. Still, some experts believe that full head transplants that include the brain could be possible by 2030. At least one surgeon, Dr. Bruce Matthew, believes that this could actually be done. He has suggested moving the entire spinal column along with the brain. This would get rid of the need to attach the brain to the new spine. Ethical concerns also stand in the way of brain transplants becoming a reality. Some say they could save lives. The surgery could be an option for those with healthy brains, but terminal illness elsewhere in the body. Others argue that they go against nature. There's also concern over the effect on the mental health of those receiving the surgery. What do you think? Are brain transplants the next great frontier in medicine, or should they stay in science fiction? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.